Okay, let's get started. Others will join as they find time. So let's get started. Welcome everyone to our webinar for December uh, 2020. And I thought, what we should be talking in this webinar. What should be the topic? And I thought about it, and the thing that came to my mind or stood out was that in this year there are everybody had lot of challenges. Everyone had lot of challenges, and project managers too. You know, project all of you who are leading uh, projects or have led projects in this year know different kind of challenges that you all faced. And I call it a turbulent year because there were lot many things in this year that created lot of challenges for project managers um, all over the world, all over the world. So I thought let's talk about that. And This webinar is going to be a little different, and I thought about how can I increase your participation in this webinar. So we'll see. I have come up with some ideas. How do we improve your participation also? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what we are going to do. So that was some introductions and expectations, and we'll talk about how project management got impacted by the events of this year. So we'll talk about the events of this year, what are the impact on project management, and how to manage the challenges, how to manage the challenges. And Philip is preparing a quiz. And if that quiz is ready by the time we reach there, then we will have a quiz. Otherwise, we'll have the quiz takes only maybe 5-6 minutes. Um, so listen to what I'm saying in this webinar, because the quiz is going to be based on the webinar. So if Philip is able to put it together, we'll have the quiz, and the winner of the quiz will get as a appreciation, will get a $10 Amazon gift card. Okay, and we'll have Q&A at the end. And this is once again for somebody who joined new. I see lot of you who come to my webinars. Thanks a lot, and I'm sure you are finding value. And let's tell everybody else in your network about this webinar. And it doesn't matter if there are 10 people in the webinar or there are 1,000 people in the webinar. Everybody can get benefit from this. So go ahead and feel free to pass on the link, tell them about the webinar, and so that they can also get the benefit from this. So we are going to use tool menti.com, and this is what we have been doing in the past. So let me see if I've started. Yeah, I started it. So on your devices, cell phone, laptop, iPad, smart, tablets, smartphones, whatever you have. So if you go to menti.com, you just need an internet access. So you go to menti.com, and then it will ask for a code, and that's the code 7455011. So if they type the code and then respond to this question. So very easy. I want to see when you signed up, what was in your mind, what you expect to get from this webinar. So it should be pretty easy to go to this site. I'll give you, PDU's Insight Tools. Very good. Somebody has started typing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I know at least one person got in. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, just keep coming. Let's. I'll give you PDU. PDU seems to be the kind of winner. That's very good. That's very good. I know PDUs are very important to maintain your certification. So So that is something which is understandable. How to navigate through 2020? I think knowledge. Okay, so knowledge is kind of secondary thing. Tools, knowledge, PDUs. Yeah, 9 of you have already responded, so that's very good. That's very good. Maybe another 15 seconds if somebody else want to participate. How to manage chaos? Yeah, that's how to navigate through 2020. Remote working. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Turbulence. PDUs. Yeah. That is all of that. All of that. All of that. Um, you can keep typing here. It will be stored. So if some of you are not able to get to it, you can go and do that. And this will be a good way to see your. We are going to use the same tool for doing the quiz. So if you want to get in and try this out, this will be a good chance that you can work through this. Okay, all right. Let's go back. So that's very good. And some of you who don't know me, uh, I am CEO of Refinem, an Agile Enterprise Agile coach. I have been involved in many large scale Agile transformations. The current one is IBM, where I have been doing Agile coaching for last 4.5 years. I just started another engagement with another larger company called as Charter Communication. So I've been and I'm starting a transformation there. Maybe just a month ago, I started transformation there. Uh, and of course, I do project management, process improvement, consulting kind of engagement with my team. And some of the products that I will show you on the next page, little bit more. Uh, and some of you may be seeing this little seal over here. This is new. Okay. Uh, if you are, most of you have come here for PDUs, you know about PMP exam prep, but that is PMP exam is changing from 2021, and there are affiliated training partners who can provide training that is approved by PMI. So we became a premier ATP, affiliated training partner. That's what they call ATP. So we became an affiliated training partner a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm an a PMP certified instructor. Also, I have another instructor with me in Refinem. So we are two of us who will be teaching the PMP classes this year, and course material is provided by PMI. And so everybody who is teaching is going to teach from the same material, and we bring our experience to the students. I think that's a big differentiator, and we are going to provide a lot of other aids. So if somebody is looking for PMP, let them know. We have classes which we have already published. uh, so uh, so we can talk about that later, but let's move on. uh, so webinars, you are already interested in webinars. So in January, we are going to talk about trends. That's what we do every January. We talk about trends. Every December, we talk about how the year was. And then in February, we'll be delivering this, a combination of the two, from projectmanagement.com. So that is going to be on February 3rd. We have several products and self-paced online training. Now, with so much of remote going on, then people are working from home, but still want to continue learning, still want to keep, uh, increasing their knowledge and skill. So we offer several self-paced online trainings. So we have Agile fundamentals for somebody to learn Agile. We have PM fundamentals. We have Agile business requirements, how to gather business requirements, and backlog grooming. So those are several self-paced online classes that you can take, or anybody looking for improving their knowledge. And then there are products which are tools, different kind of tools that could be useful. Okay, and all of this we are running a 25% off. Philip did not remember to put it here. We are running a 25% off, because holiday sale kind of a thing. Okay, so turbulent year 2020. Some of you might be very familiar with this chart. You know, this is from John Hopkins University, one of the reliable resources in reporting data. Uh, so all of you are very familiar. I don't have to repeat the thing, how serious this issue is, and it has changed life for everybody forever. The numbers keeps growing, and the challenges keeps going. So this has been the far more biggest challenge. COVID-19 has been the far most biggest challenge starting in March, has been the biggest challenge of this year that made the year turbulent. Plus, added with that, in the US, you had demonstrations. You know, the demonstration, race related demonstrations, and then this year was a year for voting. So a lot of distraction happened there, and of course the natural disasters like fires and all those, nothing like earlier years, and all these natural disasters. So everything put together, but the COVID-19 was the main um, factor this year. That was the main factor this year, not just for US, but for the entire world, for the entire world. And it has impacted project management too. And that's what we are going to talk about, how this is impacted. So what we are going to do is I'm going to send you in two different rooms. Okay. So you'll go in those two rooms, and I would like to give you maybe 5 minutes or so to discuss this question. Okay. What you see as come up with a list of impacts on project management due to COVID and other issues in 2020. How do you see the project management got impacted? Uh, can somebody talk about what they discussed in there? I want to give maybe a 30 seconds. If somebody wants to talk about what they discussed in their groups.
Yeah, this is NK. This is pitch here. I can quickly do that. I think,
Sure.
like everyone talked about in our team, we talked about that. Definitely, we are missing that face-to-face versus the remote that we kind of talked about there, and of course the the challenges with the canceled meetings, seminars, and all the things. So it's learning and development is kind of another thing. And then the project, even though the project expenses being noticeably decreased, and there is a cancel because of the financial burden,
Yeah.
and complexity dealing with the vendor and vendor dependency because their resources, and of course some of the personal stress because of the team members gone through the exposure to the COVID, and their that is another thing. And finally, the technology challenges, because now working with those Skype meeting and internet bandwidth and everything is another huge thing. So those are things.
Good. Very good. Anybody from the other room? Anything more to add to Pitch, what Pitch said? Okay, Pitch, it seems like you covered it well. So very good. So we also, I think I also observed the similar thing, what you talked in your groups. And also I had my team do some research, Philip and Ayushi, the two team members. I asked them to do some research and get some data, so we can see how that impact was. So I'm going to share some slides with you with the data. So this is the overall negative impact of in year 2020 on project management. So general business impact, that was the highest. So you say that was extremely negative. So general business impacts were extremely negative. So if you read this chart, it basically says, okay, where it was most, what was the part that was most impacted or extremely negatively impacted, and what were the almost no negative impact or moderately negative impact. So if you see the general business impact was the highest, and then benefit realization from the projects. All projects are done to have some benefits realized from those projects. Project financials was the another one that had a negative impact. Speed of delivery, slow down, delays, right? Some of you talked about that, delays. That was the next one. Contract renewal chances, and that went down, layoffs and all that. So you can see, and the future outlook was something that was not so much negatively impacted. I don't know why, but that's how it was there in this study. You can see the source that we got from it's there below. It's a PMI article that we pulled. So that talked about different kind of statistics on the impacts on project management. And also, we basically in the short term and long term, we categorized into 3 categories. And I heard Pitch talking about some of them. So there are 3 broad categories. One is the project performance, how project performance was impacted, and then financial, and then personal or individual, whatever you want to call. So there are 3 broad categories of impact. So project stress, project performance stress, or what suffered less benefit realization, speed of project recovery, speed of deliverables, and sponsor confidence also. And the long-term impact to the project, more projects got canceled. Somebody was talking about, the project got canceled. So that happened actually. So that's a long-term impact, but the short-term impact were that 4. And if you see on the right-hand side, this is the root cause analysis, fishbone diagram. If many of you are PMPs here, so you know what fishbone diagram is. So a fishbone diagram of what are the root causes for project performance stress, some deliverables delayed, less stakeholder confidence. And why deliverables were delayed? Because approvals were late, or there was delay in approvals. There were work disruptions. That is why the approvals were late. There were technical issues, which somebody was just talking about. And those technical issues were caused by remote working, right? And similarly, I don't want to go through each one of this, but you can see the root causes for the project performance impact. And the project performance impact was negatively impacted because of these reasons, right? And similarly, you had financial stress, right? General business impact, we saw in that chart earlier. The general impact, project financials means profitability, revenue, or whatever were the project financial related goals that were impacted, and less chances of getting the business, contract renewals. And we had in the FINAM, we had the impact. We had a project going on with a client in California, and that was going to go, but they came back in April, and they said that because it was from Golden Gate Transportation District, and they get a lot of their money from people traveling across that Golden Gate Bridge. They have the buses that take people from one part to the other part. They have the ferries. So all that stopped. All revenue coming to them stops. So when the revenue goes down, what they are going to do? They are going to cut down the expenses. So they said that they are putting a hold on one of the major projects that they were doing with them, and they will come back after the COVID situation improves. Probably they'll come back next year. But they were very happy. We were implementing we are project managing a document management system implementation for them. So that's one of the things that just came to my mind. And you may have things in your area. So everybody was impacted. And that, of course, that revenue we lost, right? Because that we were doing that project. Of course, we got revenue from somewhere else. But that was one of the impact, financial impact. And you can see on the RCA here, root cause analysis here. And long-term impact is uncertainty. Nobody knows how long this is going to go. Of course, there is some good news. We hear in here in news every day about vaccine and all that. So hopefully things will turn around sometime. People are expecting in around summertime, but we still have few months to go with that situation, and how much it will improve and all that is uncertain. So there is a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot of risk factors that we have. And the third one here is the personal stress. And personal stress, layoffs. We had, thousands of people were laid out. People lost their jobs, and different, what kind of businesses suffered, right? What kind of businesses suffered, and a lot of businesses were closed because of this. And then people started working from home, right? Remote work was allowed, and many companies are doing remote. Almost most of the companies are doing remote work, but that creates a kind of a double pressure of living at home, and the boundary fading between home and work. So if you have something going on at home, that you get distracted, and that may result in reduced productivity, which you may try to catch up by putting extra hours. But that creates the personal stress, increase because of increased anxiety, uncertainty, uh, you know, and all that is happening. So you can see the three dimension of project performance: financial and personal stress. Those are the three categories, and you can add more to this. That is how it was impacted. So some of you covered some of this, but I wanted to give a kind of the detailed scenario in all three dimensions of the impact that was created. So how do we manage this turbulence? What do we do, right? So we are all project managers. We should be able to solve problems, right? So we faced those kind of issues, and some of us do projects using Agile. So you face it, and you figure it out as you go, what you can do. And many of us did it. I did it, you did it, many of us did it. So let's regroup again into two groups. It may not be the same groups, okay, because the system may do it in a different way. So I would give this time, I'll give you maybe 3-4 minutes, and I may not give any, let's say 5 minutes from now, but I may not give any warnings. You keep your time, you manage your time boxing, and after 5 minutes I will cancel the rooms. So what you need to discuss this time: last time you discussed what was the impact, and we summarized all that. Now what you're going to discuss, how do you minimize this impact? Okay, so who wants to go and summarize what they discussed in their groups? What can we do? How to minimize?
So again, this pitch here, and we briefly talk about a lot of things around the communication. So that is one of the things, because we need to do more frequent communication. We need to have open communication and very engaged communication, because that is going to keep us more alive and engaged in the remote environment. The other thing we talked about is the risk. How do we understand the risk proactively? So now we also talk about, previously we never thought about these kind of a pandemic, and we need to now think about the risk, which is not even in the project scope. It is more a global scope. Right? You never know, right? And probably in the down the line, the project, we may be thinking about one of the risks is a global warming and global climate, right? So that kind of the thing, we need to think beyond the risk, not the project, not the organization, not the vendor, not the regulators, not the agencies. We need to go beyond some limitless kind of the risk things. So those are we kind of talk about.
Yeah, I know. And I also heard somebody talking about some of this is mitigated by doing daily stand-ups. So you have a chance to come and talk every day, even for 15 minutes. So think about, even if you're not implementing Agile, but you can still do those daily stand-ups. Nobody stops you doing daily stand-ups. So that, I thought that was a good suggestion from someone. Okay, so let's see what I have. So how do so uh, I'm going to look at tools, techniques, and shifts in approach. So new approach. Okay, so the new approach, adapt to remote work. I think that is some part you were talking about. Adapt to remote work, and I think in last 6-7 months, many of us have already adapted to remote work. We cannot do those conversations in the hallway. We know that, but there are tools available. You can have the same conversation, sitting on your screen and having other person, you know uh, through a video conference. You can do that, and actually you don't have to do video conference. You can do actually video calling. So it is required to learn these technology, new ways of working. How do you get motivated sitting in a room and working? There's no we don't have those situations where the team gets together, talk together, have fun together. That all is not happening, right? So we need to adapt to this. Adaptation is one thing and that's many organizations are saying we are going to keep the remote work, because some of the thing they are seeing is that there is a financial benefit of that, right? There's a financial benefit of that. They don't have to pay for that infrastructure. There is a downside of it is security, right? But people are getting adapted to that and adopt agile mindset. That's another one. As I was talking about, somebody was talking about daily stand-ups. A great approach that keeps you connected. Keeps you connected every day. 15 minutes, the teamwork comes together and talks. And don't worry about if Scrum says 15 minutes and you need 30 minutes, take 30 minutes, right? But some way to connect every day so that everybody is together. You may start doing some retrospectives, which is also part of agile. And thinking about agile mindset is how I as a person can take ownership. Agile teams are self-managed, empowered team. Each person in the team is empowered. Each team is empowered. So how I take that empowerment and move forward, adjust to changing conditions, whatever is happening. So I think adaptation to the new work culture, new ways of working. So you as a project manager now cannot go and meet stakeholders face to face. Now how do you meet them, and still be very productive? So learning, so all our trainings now are remote, and we are not able to do those workshop kind of a thing which we do with the sticky notes and flip charts and all those kind of things. But now we're transitioning it to an electronic form of doing the same thing, right? So everybody is learning, and everybody is learning fast. So this is one of the things to mitigate or manage the impacts. We need to rise to this occasion, and as a project manager, we take the leadership and we provide the leadership to our project teams. So that's very important. Instead of being a victim of the situation, we rise from that, right? We rise from, each one of us is a leader. No, every project manager is a leader, because that's what is required to deliver projects effectively. So if this new situation has come and it is causing issues with project management, how do we deal with that? We apply our leadership, figure out new ways of doing things, coach, mentor, support the team to do that, and still remain productive. So new approach, new normal. I think all of us need to understand it well, practice it well, teach well, and should be able to talk to the teams that this is what is, and This is how we are going to overcome. Each project, each company, each organization, each team has a different situation. But I think the project managers in that situation need to figure out specific solutions for specific projects. But overall approach, that's what I wanted to discuss. Techniques. What are the techniques? You need to learn remote collaboration tools, how to remotely collaborate. And I'm going to talk about some of those tools in the next slide. But we need to talk about what are the collaboration tools. Many teams have started doing happy hour, right? And I attended some of those. Those are fun. Let's do it. For the whole team, maybe once in a couple of weeks. Many teams do once in a month or so. Once in a week. Some teams do once in a week also. So happy hour, 6 o'clock in the evening. Everybody comes with their drinks, coffee, or beer or wine or whatever. You sit down and have a free form chat, right? Just talk. This is a socialization time. Consider flexible scheduling. So you can see now you're working from home. That at this point of time there's a lot of disturbance in the home. So maybe I don't work at that time. I work at some other time. Use visualization tools. Very important to build transparency and build transparency and have a visibility of what is going on. The work visualization. That's very important, right? Now, so that people can go together at one place and see what's going on. Okay, so those are some of the techniques that you can use. So we talked about the approach. Now we're talking about techniques. Now we are going to talk about tools. So many of you may know a lot of these tools. So remote collaboration tools, Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet. So like we are doing right now. And then Mural and Miro are the tool that visualize work. Okay, and Slack, Team, WhatsApp for instant messaging. Now most of them allow you to do instant video calling. That's a very good thing. Like in the days when you were going to office, if you want to talk to somebody, you go to their room or cubicle and talk to them. Now you can just have a video call with them from these tools. They all allow to do video calling. So you do a video call and maybe set certain kind of guidelines that everybody should be available to do that video call. Work visualization tools, I was talking about Swift Kanban, Jira, Trello, Basecamp. There are probably more than 24 such tools. Use any. Many of them are available free for up to a team of 10 people. So we use Swift Kanban, and I have clients use Jira and Trello and Basecamp and some other tools, and also find the tools for centralized information sharing. That becomes very important now, so that everybody could go to one place. So SharePoint, Office 365, TSF, and things like that. So those are some of the tools. We do have time for a quiz, and we'll do Q&A after this. So let's go and do the quickly quiz. And Philip said it is ready. So let me go there. So this is your same place. You can go and be there if you can bring your systems. Now what I do is go to next slide. So yeah, the people are joining. So let's see if all of you can join. There are 4 people who have joined. So I'll give maybe 30 more seconds for everybody else to join. Okay, 5. Okay, anybody else wants to join? 6, very good. 7, great. 7 of you joined. 8, very good, very good. Excellent. Okay, so let's get started. So we have some of you. So your first question is coming up. The thing is that you have to not only answer correctly, you have to answer fast to get the maximum scoring. So let's say answer fast to get more points. Zombie attacks. Wow. Okay. So yeah, some of you said sporting events, but that was not there in the lecture today. So some of you said disaster. That was good. That was there in the. So let's say the scoring. This is an interesting part of it. So Ingrid seemed to be leading after the end of question 1. Now there's a second question coming up. So I was showing you that chart, if you remember, what was the most significant negative impact. Wow, great. Yeah, most of you replied it correct. That was highest there. Let's see if there is any change here. So Ingrid is still leading. Very good. So now comes the third question here. So we talked about 3 categories. Okay. All right. So, okay, Brand the Broken is now switched with Ingrid. So let's see the next one here. Oops, sorry. Oh, that okay. So everybody's all over. Okay. All right. Okay, I see some things changing over here. Okay, all right. Go to the next one. Okay. All right. Let's see how the scorecard is going. I think there's one more question. Okay, so Brand the Broken is taking the lead. So this is the last. No, this is question 6. There is one more. Okay. Very good. And I think now we have the last question coming up after this. Oh, there may be some switching happening here. No, okay, still good. Ingrid is trying to come back. Let's see if Ingrid is able to come back. Go fast, Ingrid. Okay. So very less people answered this correctly. It was work visualization. Oh, wow. Only 2 people answered it correctly. Oh, so Scott is the winner. Wow, Scott came from behind. So Scott, please email me the screenshot of this screen, and I will send you the $10 Amazon gift card. Okay. So one last question on this. Um, so what topics do you want to learn about in future webinars? Somebody says risk management, stakeholder management, integration management. Okay, risk management. I see some of you talking about risk management, want to see risk management. Happy hour. Yeah, we can do that. Once in a while, we can do a happy hour too. Yeah, I see many of you wanted to have risk management. Yeah, we can do um, do one on risk management. Very good. So let's quickly go back here. So we're running a little bit over. Um, so we have more hope, but the new normal is going to be vastly different. All of us know that it's not going to be same as it was in January or February this year. And we need to be vigilant as project managers, adapt quickly to the changing environment. And that is how project managers can be successful. So we are over time by a couple of minutes. But if you have any questions, let's open up the speaker phones, Philip, if they are already not, or participants can open up themselves. So if
everyone should be unmuted.
Okay. So if there are any questions, I'll be here for a couple of more minutes to answer your questions.
Hey, NK, this is Scott.
Yes, Scott.
So one thing I don't that some of my projects have actually been positively impacted by all this turbulence. Since sites have been closed or had fewer people, in some cases, I've been able to do projects during normal business hours that typically would have to be done off hours or on weekends. So
yeah.
Just wanted to point that out because
we
talked about a lot of the adverse impacts, but not so much about the positive impacts or opportunities that were created.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great, Scott. Yeah. I think that's definitely something positive. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful.
And then in our one breakout session, the one other thing that we talked about that was positive, a lot of us were talking about taking training and using the time to do training.
Right.
But the other positive was that some conferences that you used to have to go to in person were now online, which actually gave us
so you don't have to travel. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I myself, I used to travel a lot for doing agile workshops and consulting work and all that. I was traveling like maybe at least once or twice a month. Now I don't have to travel, and I'm able to do that sitting in my home. So travel actually eats up a lot of time.
It does.
Yeah, I know people who travel, they know that it takes a lot of time and energy, and also it creates stress because sometimes if you have flight delays, flight cancellations, I have faced a lot of those, and when you run into those, and it's just you're sitting at the airport trying to find out the next flight and all that, it's very stressful. It's very stressful. And so, yeah, I think good point, Scott. Very good point. I should have added some of that, or at least a slide about the positive impacts. Yes, very good thing. Thanks for bringing up.
Sure.
Scott. Yeah. And I'm just displaying this slide. I have leadership skills for project managers. I have been talking about all project managers should have leadership to navigate through the complexity and the new situations. So I'm doing a one-day class on December 17, and that may be a good way to close your year. And there are 2 discounts right now going on until tomorrow. You have early bird and also a holiday 25 discount going on that will go on for some more time. So if you are interested or somebody else are interested, then we are running this one-day class, leadership class. This is the way you get one PDU. You will get this slide deck. And these are our courses coming up. PMP is a new course altogether in 2021. And we are, from Refine Them, we are all prepared for that. Okay, any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in our next webinar in January. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Thank you.